Let me also put the transcript on in case anyone benefits from that. Okay, here we go. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Jessica. I am with Disability Rights New Jersey's ATAC team, and we are here today for another Tech Spotlight webinar. Um, this Tech Spotlight is called Inspiration. And with that, I am going to pass it over to our presenter, Riza. Thank you for joining us, everyone.
Thank you, Jess, for that introduction, and thank you for joining this session. And hi, Julie, for joining from Wales, well, Spain at the moment. So not too far from where we are. Our company is based in Wiltshire, and nice to see you, Brian, as well. So good to see a familiar face. So my name is Riza, and I'm the CEO of Technology, and we're the publisher of Inspiration. And so today it was a bit of an introduction to what Inspiration is. So what I'm going to do is just share my screen and then we'll kickstart. So do that and share sound. There we go. So hopefully you can see my screen okay. So um, for for those, if you're not familiar with inspiration we describe as a visual thinking tool. It's a tool that allows users to be able to capture, to organize, to synthesize, and model their thinking and knowledge in a graphical way. So it's a tool that's been around for 37 years. So it's got a long pedigree and history to the product. And it's used right across the piece. So it's used in education, it's used in the workplace, and it's used personally. So, whilst it is a tool that can be used by anyone, it is particularly useful for those with neurodifferences and cognitive challenges. And so, the key five areas where certainly inspiration can be of help is around those users that struggle with working memory and executive processing challenges, memory retention, organizational challenges, focus and concentration, and anxiety. So these are the common traits that where inspiration can provide help with users in terms of overcoming barriers. So with the tool, as I said, sometimes it gets labeled as a mind mapping tool. So we tend to describe it as a visual thinking tool because it does more than mind mapping. It allows you to create concept maps. It allows you to create flow charts. It allows you to create graphic organizers. It is a true diagramming tool. But the other essential side to it is it also includes a full outlining tool as well, which is a full word processor. So what it does is it allows users to be able to also to be able to deal and process with text successfully and to be able to support them in terms of the writing process as well. And so when I do a demonstration of the software, hopefully you'll see how both environments interact with one another. So what we're going to do is do a live demonstration of using the application. And so we're going to kickstart by building a diagram. And hopefully you can see how easy it is to use Inspiration. We try to keep the software as simple as possible. And we primarily focus on features and tools that will support a user in terms of their thinking skills and supporting that as well as the writing process. So when you launch Inspiration, this is the starter screen that you'll see. And this is where you will enter the key environments of Inspiration. You've got the diagram view. Now, this is the real unique environment. What's unique about Inspiration, this totally freestyle environment that allows you to be able to model your thinking exactly as how you want to construct and present those diagrams. So this gives you the full flexibility to apply lots of different visual thinking techniques. We've also got a map view, and I'll show you that later on. And so if you want to create those pure mind maps, then this is the environment which you can work within. Mind maps are a great visual thinking strategy in itself, and it's great for where you've got a single topic or concept and you want to dig deeper into it. The diagram view is great if you've got more complex ideas and you want to show the relationships between those different concepts. The outline view integrates with both environments, both the diagram and the map view. And so with this, what it does is it allows a user to work in this very graphical way, but at the same time, it's producing a written outline for them. And so you'll see that. But also, it is a full outlining tool in itself and can be used independently. So for those users who prefer to outline, you can use Inspiration just purely as an outlining tool, where what it's great at what it does in terms of presenting written information or helping you to write and neatly compartmentalizing it in terms of main ideas and supporting ideas, and using indentations and prefixes to reflect that. We've also got an extensive templates library, over 150 different templates, all organized different topic and subject areas. So we've got English, for example, and these are starter templates. So it's a great way to introduce users to visual thinking techniques, but also if they've got loads of ideas, but they just need that catalyst to get started, this is a great way to do that. So if you click on any one of these templates, you can see a thumbnail of what it is and a brief description of how it helps. They have questions, prompts within there to help in terms of um, promoting the sort of ideation, getting those ideas out and onto the page, and also provides a natural structure to get those ideas in and to help in that organizing and structuring of those ideas. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to build a diagram from scratch very quickly. So we're using the diagram view first. And so our project will be on the benefits of visual thinking techniques. Now, there is a built-in spell checker. So if I right click, I can correct these miscues that has been identified. But there are also a word guide as well. So as well as in terms of supporting the writing process with the word guide, you can find definitions and you can find synonyms for similar words or antonyms opposite words. And if there's a different word that you want to choose to use, you just highlight it and click replace, and it would then change it in your diagram. Now, this is a very freestyle environment. I can just click anywhere and just start typing. So enhanced creativity. And then I can use the link to show the relationship between one idea or concept with another one. A lot of our users talk about being non-linear, and this diagram view helps them to be able to represent that thinking as to how their mind's eye is seeing those ideas and the relationships between them. And so this is a great way then in terms of them being able to model their thinking exactly as how they understand it and how they want to present it itself. Now, with the interface, we try to keep it as simple as possible, and it's grouped into three key areas. Up here at the top are all of your tools to help you in terms of the construction and ideation of your diagram or your mind map if you're in the mind map view. We've also then got our symbols library. So here you've got access to over 1,000 different images and symbols, all organized in different topic and subject areas. And you can also create your own custom libraries as well. And so this is essential because this makes it easy to add those vital visual cues to support the verbal cues that you've got onto your page. And this is something that we strongly recommend, is using visual cues, this whole dual coding approach of both using verbal cues and visual cues to explain an idea. And there's lots of benefits to that, particularly in terms of memory retention and in terms of understanding and a deeper understanding of it. And down here at the bottom are all of your formatting options, which also includes this new themes feature, which I'll introduce to you in a moment. So to really speed up the process of getting your ideas onto the page, we've got the rapid fire tool. We can do it with or without links. So with links, it will automatically create the ideas and link them. Without links, it will just create the ideas encapsulated in symbols. Rapid Fire Tool is a great way to get those ideas quickly out onto the page. It's great for those users with working memory issues, focus issues, because it's just a very productive way, a great way to brainstorm. Without links is great, say, for example, if you've got lots of ideas in your head, but you don't know yet the structure. And this is something that Inspiration is really strong on and excels at, is the fact that particularly for a lot of those with neuro differences and cognitive challenges, they might have lots of ideas, but in their head, their mind's eye, they can't see how these different ideas connect to one another. So when they go into this view, they don't have to immediately decide on a structure. They can just get those ideas out onto the page, take a look, see them, and then start to create that organization and structure afterwards. Right, we're going to go with Rapid Fire Tool and we're going to add some more ideas in. So memory retention. Organization. So all I'm doing is typing enter after each keyword that I'm typing in. Problem solving. Enhanced learning. And time management. As you can see, it's totally flexible. There's no restriction in terms of where you place these ideas. So it's very intuitive and you can model it your understanding and ideas exactly as how you want it. So it hasn't quite picked up that one. So I'm just going to correct that myself. Okay, now to build up on this, I could use the rapid fire tool, but there are other ways in which you can help with the ideation and getting those ideas out onto the page. You can use the create tool here. So I can hover over the branches and I'll go for the 9 o'clock. It'll auto create a symbol. And then on here, free style thinking. Let's correct that. So that's one way. Another way is just to drag a symbol out onto the page. Again, use the link tool. Break down into manageable chunks. Obviously, we encourage the use of images. There's also a whole load within here. I'm just going to use this and I'm going to put that, just drag that on in terms of enhanced creativity. So starting to add these visual cues. Now, other ways in which we can add visual cues is color. That's a great way, and it's a great way for categorizing information and adds an extra layer of meaning as well as images, for example. So I can select one or hold shift key, multi-select. There's lots of different ways of choosing groups of symbols. And down here at the bottom here, I can use the color chips to be able to add a color cue. But with version 11, we've got the themes feature. So in both the diagram and the map view, we've got a carousel of different themes that we can choose from. My favorite is this one. So what this does is it quickly adds those visual cues to my diagram. I can do this at any point in time. Immediately it becomes more engaging. And also what it does is it helps and aids you to help see those patterns of information, groups of information, etc. And so it helps you to process what's on the page much more easier. Also, as you add to it, so memory retention, use of visual cues. So it's orphaned at the moment, but as soon as I link it up, it will automatically continue with that theming. Now, with this particular theme, it's not just the symbol colors that are themed, it's also the links. And as you build your map, those links essentially help you to be able to navigate the map as well, particularly when it gets bigger. So I've built up my map. I tend to be quite freestyle. If you look at my maps, it tends to be like this. But you can get inspiration then at any point in time to be able to do the heavy lifting in terms of structuring these ideas. So I've got immediate defaults, tree, web, split tree, go to more. I've got lots of different options. I can go to tree, go to right, do size by text by level, for example, and immediately reorganize it. And I can do that at any point in time. Personally, for myself, I may choose different views because perhaps I want to analyze this information in different ways. Or if I'm then sharing it with others, I might rearrange it in a different way that's more suited to them, for example. So I've taken this so far with this. Now, to take us along and to introduce the other features, I'm just going to go back to the other diagram. So I'm going to go back to this one just to talk through the other features as well. So the other aspects that we've talked about creating a diagram, organizing and arranging, adding visual cues. Now to scaffold the writing process, you're able to label the links. And so to do that, what you can do is click on a link and type. But to help also with this, you can also right click and you've got general link phrase terms or scientific and mathematical terms to explain why one idea is connected to another. We encourage this. This encourages critical thinking skills. Why do you think one idea is connected to another? It helps whoever's looking at this to understand why you've connected one idea to another. It's a very important technique when you're concept mapping as well to do this. And also as an educator, for example, if you're training and trying to explain a concept, these link phrases can certainly help as well to explain the relationships between different ideas. Also, from a memory retention perspective, it helps to embed that information. And 6 months down the line, when you're looking at the map, you may have forgotten why you've connected one eye to the other. The link phrases can certainly help there. Now, that continuation in terms of writing, we've got the notes feature. So any of these symbols, we can have a note. Each one can have up to 8 A4 pages, as you can see here, and also include an image. Now, I can have different notes up here. I can make them bigger. I can make them smaller. And I can have multiple notes opened up. So me as a nonlinear thinker, I've got it's like sticky notes that I'm pasting up all over it. I can move them around, but they're always associated with that particular symbol itself. And so by having the ability to open up multiple notes allows me to compare different sections. And to add a note, all I do is click on a symbol and then just click on the notes feature up here as well. And we have plenty of keyboard shortcuts to be able to speed that process up, such as adding notes. And that also helps when you're using Dragon. So we do have a specific Dragon command pack, which can help in terms of using inspiration from not just for dictating into and getting the text in, but also controlling and building your diagram through speech alone. So that's the notes feature. Each note can have up to 8 A4 pages. Now let's talk about the outlining tool. So this is again a unique aspect of inspiration because this is a full outlining tool. It's a full word processor. It can deal with 5,000 words, 10,000 words, 25,000 words. We've got professional writers with word counts of 100,000 words. Essentially, the keyword or phrase in the diagram becomes a heading or a subheading. Any of the notes becomes paragraphs, and then you've got indentations and prefixes to help you to identify the relationships between different ideas. Exporting my work, if I was to edit this to another product, the content is in sync as well. So I can add notes, for example. So if I was to add a note to this one, aids understanding. So I've made some changes here. If I then go to the diagram view, I can see here it will have added that note. So the content is in sync with one another, but also the navigation. If I wanted to see where this sat within my outline, just highlight that, go to here, and it will automatically go to here as well. We like to say the diagram view is a good summary, your big picture thinking, all a summary, single page summary of all of different ideas and concepts and how they connect. Your outline is now a representation of those ideas in the linear format. You can fully edit within here, just like a word processor, move things around, drag things around, edit within here, for example. But this is where you can see the detail in the linear format and start that full word processing process in terms of the writing journey. And so, as I said, you can do deal with a lot of text within here. Let's then move on. So we've got the outlining. Other key aspects is sourcing and referencing. So a simple thing is that we do have a hyperlink tool. So any of these symbols, we can have a hyperlink. We can hyperlink to web pages, to files, for example. So it's a great way to consolidate material that we've got. We can also drag and drop things like Word documents, PDF documents onto this. It will show a thumbnail of that document and also hyperlink to it as well. So when I click on it, for example, if I was to do here, it would open up the web page, for example, which it's hyperlinked to. Another aspect is referencing as well. So if I've got citations, I can use the citation tool here to add these here. Each one can be hyperlinked to a different resource as well. It could be a PDF document, a Word document, for example. And I can have this on any one of these, for example. So if I add a reference here, I'll simply type it in the style required, or you copy and paste from a referencing tool that perhaps is the one that the college, university, school is recommending that's being used. And so once I've got that into place, if I go into the outline view, you'll see that it will automatically then generate a bibliography, and it will collect all of those references and sort it into alphabetical order as well. Now, with this tool, to help you in terms of proofing, to understand what you've written, we do have built-in text-to-speech built within here. So that is baked in within the software. So if I click on here, hopefully I did choose Share Computer Sound.
Outlining.
You should
Exporting
be
my work to another product.
Back. So it's a great way just to listen back to what you've written, see if it makes sense, and it's a great proofing technique as well. Once I'm happy with my diagram, my outline, I'm ready to export. We make it super simple to deal with this. So I click on the transfer tool. Got lots of different options then as to what I want to take across, include the diagram or not. If I transfer to clipboard, that's optimized then to paste into Google Docs or to OneNote. And I can choose to have topic headings or not, for example. So if it's a creative writing piece, I don't necessarily want those topic headings in. Or do I want my notes? You can choose to have that or not. So it's highly configurable what you export. Then I can take it over to Word, as I'm going to do now. And I've got it transferred to Word. Now, we include style headings. So I've got the navigation pane opened up in Word so I can see the outline. This is really useful if it's a big document, as I said, with the word counts that Inspiration can deal with. It just makes it easy to be able to navigate through the document. And so all of the headings, the subheadings, the notes have all been brought across into Word. And also then, because we've got that information sent across, and if I wanted a table of contents, I could go into references, go to table of contents, and I can insert a table of contents in from the information that's been sent across from Inspiration. So this is just a bit of a whistle stop in terms of an example of the, I guess, the productivity cycle, starting off from the pre-writing process, or shut down completely. Let me just go back in. There we go. So let's just go back to this diagram here. This just shows you one example. I'm just going to wrap up by just showing you the mind map view, just so you can see that in action. So the mind map view is where you want to create your pure mind maps. And this is really a really good visual thinking technique, particularly if you've got a single topic or a concept and you want to dig deeper into it. It's really simple. You have branches and you simply label those branches. If you want to add more branches, you would just click these plus to add a branch, and then you would then go in and label that branch. We've also, as with the other environment, we've got keyboard shortcuts as well. The features are pretty much the same. It's just really much about the application of those features to that particular visual thinking technique. Now, one of the features that is available in the other view, which I didn't talk about, and I'm showing in this one, is the show checklist feature. So if I go into tools, I can turn that on, which I've done here. And it's a great way of being able to tick off when you understood something or completed something. So it's a real just simple way of keeping track of your progress. And that will appear in both the mind map view and the outline view as well. So if you prefer to sit in a list, you've got this view as well. And then in the other example, I exported to Word, but I can also go to PowerPoint. So just going to delete some existing ones that I had. Got this quick wizard. Got lots of themes that I can choose from. So I'm going to choose a theme, how many containers, whether I want notes or speakers notes or a title slide, do OK. It will essentially then create a set of slides, a deck of ideas, and then each subtopic is a bullet. This is a full presentation generation tool. So you can add slides, you can add text to it, you can change the bullets. If you don't have access to PowerPoint, for example, you can use Inspiration to create those slides for you as well. And then what it will also do cleverly is Inspiration will take a snapshot of each key part of my diagram. I can then drag and drop them onto my page. So then I'm using visual cues to support the points that I'm making. So two benefits. One, it helps me as a presenter to remember what I'm talking about. It may be more useful than the bullets in terms of supporting me in my presentation, but also for my audience because they can see those visual cues as well and how these different ideas connect to one another. So quite quickly, I've got a very nice presentation, which I then can export. I can export to PDF or export as a PowerPoint file. So I'll just save it to my computer, and then I've got my slides, which I can then present from. So if I then open it up, oh, I know what I've done. Saved it to the wrong area. Just bear a second. I think I'll put it into my documents. Go into here and no, not that one. Not that one. There we are, documents, and oh, okay. What I didn't pay attention to when I was doing it was remembering where I saved it. So let me just do that again. Open up that set of slides. Just quickly do that again and remember now where I saved it to. Just keep whatever I had there. It's just from a previous iteration. Export to PDF. It's in my documents folder. I'll change it to my desktop. Make it easy to find. Do save. There it is. And you've got it there and it's fully editable within there. So you can edit the text, the graphics. And so quite present. I'll go to you today. So I guess if you've got any questions, then obviously happy to answer them now. And the other thing as well is that we do, and I have put it into the chat, that we do offer free licensing for assessment, training, and demonstration purposes. We do, as much as possible, try to support you guys in your role. So if you are interested, we've got the link there. If you click on that, what we can then do is make sure that we get that license across to you, as well as a lot of resources, again, to help you in terms of your role as well. So are there any questions?
Hi, Julie here.
Hi, Julie.
Yeah, hi. I really liked the export to mind map. That looks brilliant. I am quite familiar with this, but it's been a long time since I used it. Um, I like the layout of the mind map. However, I was wondering, is there like the ability to brain dump using something like the rapid fire? Because as soon as you create those arms, you seem to be creating a structure. And
Yeah.
I don't know, lose the ability to have like what I consider it to be a true mind map. Is there a way of using rapid fire and then putting them on the arms?
So you can rapid fire separately as well. So if I just share my screen again,
Yeah.
just show you how to do the entire screen. Share. Right. So essentially what you want to do is just rapid fire some ideas and then add them to the map
Yeah.
when you're ready. Yeah.
Oh.
So I'll just start from new.
Yeah.
And then just go to here. So obviously you can just click on a branch and rapid fire, or a bit like the diagram view, you just click anywhere and do rapid fire from here. So idea 1, idea 2. And so it will rapid fire separately, and then you can then join them on when you're ready to.
Okay. Right. Yeah, that answers my question. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
I actually have a question as well, Riza.
Yep.
Obviously, inspiration provides many opportunities for academic and professional uses. It's very clear. I'm wondering, have any of your users ever used inspiration as a communication device of sorts?
So yeah. So for those with communication challenges, particularly for those at the younger ages, inspiration can be used. So it can be either used by practitioners who are so as a learning tool to help to explain things in a very visual, simple way. So as a teaching tool from that perspective, and from the other way. So where, say, for example, someone may have challenges in terms of writing and expressing themselves in terms of using text, they can use inspiration to build up a map, but just use pure those visual cues, those images, for example, to explain their ideas.
Excellent, thank you.
And Risa, can you voice type your points into the different areas if you haven't got Dragon?
So you can use Windows dictation as well. So yeah, so that's fine. So anywhere there's a cursor, you'll be able to dictate into.
Right, lovely, thanks. And what's the link for the license, please?
Okay, so I've just put it into the chat. So if, I don't know if you've seen it.
It's right at the top.
All I can see is hi from New Jersey.
Oh, maybe mine isn't. Let me just put, maybe it was after me. And what I'll do is I'll just add it again.
Great.
Maybe because I added it before the meeting started.
Ah, okay.
Should be just after you.
Yes, I've got that. Thank you. So I need to
Cool.
copy that. Copy
Yep.
link. Copy.
And the other thing as well is that we do offer uncapped support for all of our users. So as much as possible, we would do like them to get as productive as possible. So from an organization or from an individual user, doesn't matter. They can book online training with us, in person online training, and so we do that as well, just to get people get going with the software.
Mm.
Any other questions?
Could someone potentially simply use images instead of words and images together to create their visual map?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So you don't have to put in keywords. You can just use images to build up your diagram. So we've got lots of uses, particularly with younger children. So where they might storyboard their ideas and purely just use images to express what they're thinking.
Great. Well, if no one else has any further questions, I am going to stop the recording. And if you have additional things that you think of moving forward, you can always reach out to us and Riza with further thoughts and concerns. Thank you so much for presenting today. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you everyone for joining. Much appreciated. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye-bye.